lawsuits elsewhere. A delegation of legislators from Missouri visited Israel this past week in order to strengthen trade opportunities for their state, as they explained to IBA's Aaron Viner.
Senator?
Well, you know, you're a big partner with Missouri when it comes to science and trade. We've over nearly $1 billion in trade since 1996 between Missouri and Israel.
What kind of trade?
Sigma Aldrich, chemical, manufacturing, all kinds of trade. And this is where it's happening. From what we've seen on our tour, it's been really, really exciting. The places we've been, the Technion and Sigma Aldrich. I really enjoyed going to Sigma Aldrich because they're based in St. Louis, where I'm from. So that was really an eye-opener for me. And some of the things we've seen, we can relate to some of the heart surgeries that or not the surgeries, but the techniques that we've seen. Mm-hmm. They're doing it less than a mile from my house. And when we got there, somebody said, oh, when will this be on the market? It's on the market, and it came from here, and they're using it in my neighborhood just down the street. And it so happened that one of the individuals on the tour had been a beneficiary of it.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
So you hoping to foster stronger ties and increase imports, increase trade?
Yeah, I think to follow up on what the senator said, you know, we've been working for the last couple of years to establish a trade office for Missouri and Israel, and it's something that we put in our state's budget last year. There were some funding shortfalls on the revenue side on the state budget, and but we put that back in again this year, and are hopeful that we'll be able to establish that connection for Missouri and Israel, so that we can continue to foster that relationship on a trade from a trade perspective with Israel and Missouri. So.
I understand it's the first time that both of you have been here to the country. What kind of an impression are you taking home with you?
Much different impression than what I came with.
The same. It's one of those things. I think this is an important trip for us on a trade level, but also from an understanding of the Israeli culture and what it's actually like here. Because I think that sometimes people just hear the bad things. And this is a beautiful country, and the people are very nice, and I think we've both really enjoyed our time here so far.
And you, Senator?
The hospitality has been phenomenal. And as you and I talked before, we only see what's on the news, and it becomes a news item. But there's people living in the middle of that news story every day over here, and the kids here, they're no different than the kids I'm raising at home. You see them walking with their Walkmans in their ears, and they're texting walking down the street, and like everybody else all across the world, they're not looking up and bumping into each other. The only difference is the zip code or the geography.
We're a lot more alike than different.
A lot more alike than different.
So what kind of ideas are you getting while you've been here that you think will translate well back home?
There's an interesting partnership between the government and the private sector here, and it's something that I think has been beneficial for Israel, because one thing that's kind of different here than you see back home is that failure in business, I mean, people are willing to try things and take bigger risks here, and failure is just something that is more acceptable to the people who are trying here, I think. And I think that's been beneficial for Israel and as far as economically goes, and as far as it relates to their international trade.
Turning to